Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Those are the dogs in my complex. My name is Misako Envela, and thank you so much for pressing play on today's video. I'm gonna let them have their moments. They wanna be heard too. Okay. Yes, girl. We know you're in the building. We always do. It's Friday night. I've decided to stay in like I do most Friday nights. And is she good? And I just watched the Love is Blind reunion. I don't watch a lot of TV. I've decided I want to get into more long form content to like help with my attention span. So I decided to jump on the Love is Blind bandwagon, and I'm so happy that I did because that was entertainment. I could create an entire video about my analysis of that show, of the relationships, what I've learned. If that's something you're interested in, I don't ever do content like that on my channel, but let me know because I have a lot to say. But I felt called to record another type of video today, and I want to talk about something that I think a lot of you can probably relate to if you've felt drawn to my content. I feel like the word content is so robotic. If you felt drawn to my videos, and it's that feeling of, you know, when it's time to go, but you're not ready to leave, which in the context of Love is Blind happened in a couple of relationships, but I'm talking more about like when you're in a physical place and you know it's time. You know it's time to go, but you're not ready to leave. And I think that's where I'm at with my life in Mexico City right now. And I want to talk through it because it's something that I feel like I give a lot of advice on, and I'm having this moment for the first time ever, really. I've never felt this way about a place or where I am. I'm typically very like detached. It's easy for me to move on and move to other places, but I'm having a moment of like, oh my gosh, like I'm really ready. And if you've seen my video when I came back from Japan, like I've had this feeling about Japan since I went, especially after my really powerful experience with ayahuasca. Like I'm ready to connect with those ancestors. I also want to go to Africa and connect with those ancestors. Like I'm ready to be back in Japan. And at the same time, I love Mexico City so much. The community that I've built here, I've been here for 3.5 years now. I've really carved out a life for myself. I feel this like connection to Mexico City that I don't even feel to where I'm from, which is LA. And so I've been like struggling with even really talking about it much because I just love this place so much. And I think I just need to take my own advice, which is like, I can always come back. I think what I've decided, and I haven't really like fully planned this out, that I'm just going to spend a couple months in Japan and see how I feel and then go from there. I think that's how I was able to leave LA so easily. Because I just knew like if I wanted to come back, I could. In the moment, it didn't feel like this super permanent decision. Let me put my phone on silent. Actually, we're gonna put it on Do Not Disturb. As I was saying, when I made the decision to leave LA, I just told myself it would be for a couple of months. And so I was okay with that. And a couple of months turned into 3.5 years. And now I'm having that moment of like, okay, I think I'm ready to explore life in Japan, see what that could look like. And I'm just telling myself that it could be for a couple of months and then I can come back. I think Japan feels like such like a bigger leap because it's farther away from my family. There's such a huge difference in like the time zones. And so I really feel like I'm not only moving further away from my family, but my life here as well, the friends I've made here. And I think also this is the first time in my adult life where like I've had this solid of a group of Black women in my life, and I had never experienced that before moving to Mexico City, and it's changed my life for the better in so many ways. And I feel very attached to them, and I don't want to leave them. And I know that we can maintain our relationships from a distance, but just like being able to see them whenever I want, running into them on the streets, having our meetups, like having the conversations, just being in community with them, it is something that has impacted me in ways that I could have never imagined. And I think when I really get to the core of like why I'm struggling so much with leaving this place, it's like I don't want to leave them. But I know that I can always come back. This doesn't have to be permanent. Ideally, I could live a life where I could travel between both places. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to talk through that feeling of like when you know, like, I know it's time for me to explore my life there. I'm really enjoying taking Japanese language courses. Like my tutor, shout out to Yoshi, because he's really delivering. He's so great. I'm really excited when I think about Japan. It just lights me up. But then on the other end of that, knowing that that means that I have to take time away from this place, I'm just like, wow. Also, I think it's called Astro cartography. That's very real because I have so many lines going through Mexico City, and I feel connected to this place in a way. It's more than just like, I like the superficial things. Like I feel like a soul tie to this place. And so, yeah, it's like feeling like a little bit of, okay, we're going to take a break. But it's okay. It doesn't have to be permanent. And I think if you're feeling this way as well, because I know that there are a lot of you watching who want to explore life in other places and want to travel and want to just see what your life could look like in a different setting. But I think the number one thing that holds us back is like the connections we have to the people in the places where we've, laid down our roots. But I think it's just important to remember that you can always go back. And it doesn't have to be permanent. I'm like talking us both through this. I'm talking us both through it. It doesn't have to be permanent. And you'll never regret trying. There is not a day that goes by that I regret this decision that I made to come to Mexico. And I have a feeling that when I get to Japan, there will not be a day that goes by that I regret that decision. I mean, I spent 2 weeks there and I was like, I didn't regret a single second. My wallet did, but me, I didn't. And so I'm just trying to like remind myself that just like the decision I made to come here, I'm not going to regret the decision I will make to explore life there. And you're not going to regret the decision you make to explore life wherever you want to explore it. Even if you decide it's not for you, at least then you know. That's the other thing, is like you'll never know unless you try. You can watch all the videos, you can take advice from all your friends, consume all the media about the place, but you'll never know if it's truly meant for you until you try. And I would just encourage you to try, even as I'm sitting here, like afraid of this next transition. I know from this experience that like so many beautiful things can happen when you try. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And something important to remember is like there are so many incredible people around the world. I get a lot of questions about like how to get over the fear of making friends or making friends as an adult. And one thing I know for sure through my time in Mexico City, through all of my travels, is that there are so many wonderful people in the world. There are so many people that are waiting to be your friend. There's at least one person, and that's really all you need. And so I think that's like what also balances out the fear I feel around leaving the community I've built here, is that I know that there is a loving community in Japan and wherever else I land that is waiting to embrace me, and that is waiting to embrace you. Yeah, I think there are a lot of conversations online about like how hard it is to make friends as an adult and how difficult it is to build community as an adult. And I just don't agree with that. I think if that's how you feel about that, then that is like, if that's the outlook you have on building community as an adult, then yeah, it's going to feel hard. But if you go into it knowing like there are incredible people all over the world, there are people that will want to be my friend the same way that I want to be their friend, then it will feel a little lighter. I don't know, I just wanted to get out here and talk about this because I feel like this is a common question and thing that I get asked to give advice on, and I want to let you know that I feel the same fears that you do. And I think we just have to choose to push through them, and it like gets better over time. Yeah, I hope that this video was helpful in some way. I want to start putting out more longer form videos, more than just once a week. And so this was something that I've been wanting to create for a minute, and I hope that it resonated with someone out there tonight. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to press play on today's video. Thank you so much for showing up for me. Thank you so much for being patient with me. And as always, thank you for being here.